Welcome, welcome, welcome. Today is day 28 of 28 Sparks to Catch Fire. I will tell you no lies, it's been wonderful going these 28 days with you. I am so thankful that you join me on this journey. And it's been bittersweet actually sitting down, reviewing my notes 100 times to make this final episode for our 28 Sparks to Catch Fire series. I've had all the feels. All the feels. I have changed my outline a few times, several times. I've seen your messages asking me when episode 28 was dropping. And I just want to say thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you so much for going along this journey with me, 28 Sparks to Catch Fire. So today is the very last episode for this series. We're still thinking about time this week. 28 days ago, when we started this series, the question I had was, can 28 daily sparks ignite a person into the deliberate pursuit of their calling? And so on day 28, the question I have for you is, what's different? What's different for you? What's different in your mindset? What's different in your commitment? What's different? Not what have you learned as we've journeyed these 28 days. No, the question is, what is different for you? What's different? Have you given it any thought? And the reason I'm asking what's different is because I want to know, are you still stuck in the knowing doing gap, or have you moved? Have you moved any? Because that's what this whole series has been about. That's what this whole series is for. That's what this whole series is designed to address. This series is to ignite you into movement, ignite you into the pursuit of your assignment, into the pursuit of your purpose, into the pursuit of your callings. So this whole 28 sparks was to ignite you into movement. And so that's why I'm asking, what is different? That's why I'm asking you, have you moved? Have you shifted any? And as I reviewed the last 27 days, it dawned on me, I never got to introduce myself properly. I started on a Sunday, the 1st of February, and I started hitting really hard, talking through Matthew 25 and the parable of the talents. But I never really got to introduce myself to you. So if you're meeting me for the first time, first of all, I want to say there's 27 other videos, 27 other episodes in this series. Do yourself a favor, watch them, binge on them. My name is Viola, and this channel is Viola Ignites. And the reason this channel has to be, the reason I have built this channel, the reason I'm going to continue producing content on this channel is for one reason. It's to ignite a person to do more, a person who is stuck in the knowing doing gap, to doing more, to moving more in the pursuit of their calling, in the pursuit of their purpose, for why they're on the earth. That's the content we're going to cover on this channel. Every piece of content designed around igniting you. All right. No matter what season of life you're in, as long as you're alive, there is ignition for you to move in the direction of your calling, in the direction of the very reason you are on the earth. So I'm not here, and this channel is not here to inspire you, though inspiration may happen. It's not here to motivate you, though motivation may happen. This channel is designed to ignite you. All right, but so here is my story, a little bit of my story, and give context to why this is something I am passionate about. This is something I am going to keep talking about. So for years, like many of us, I was stuck in what I call the worthiness fence, right? So the way that fence holds people back is that they are just plagued with this question of who am I to do X, Y, and Z, right? They sense a calling to do something. They sense a strong pull to do something. They sense a strong longing to do something. But they're plagued by this voice that keeps saying, but who are you to do X, Y, and Z? Who are you to talk on this topic? Who are you to ignite people? Who are you to motivate people? Who are you to teach people? Who are you to resource people? Who are you to support people in X, Y, and Z? And so, at least for me, I found myself capable in every way, everywhere else, apart from the things that I sensed I was supposed to do. So corporate career, graduate degrees, leading teams, vocal on the issues that I felt I needed to be vocal on, had no problem sharing my ideas and my opinions on a lot, apart from the things that I sensed were the things that I needed to do, were the things that I shouldn't leave this earth without doing, right? So that level of incongruent existed in my story. And so I, for some time, I just kind of felt frozen, right? Like frozen about the very things that I sensed that I was here to do. One of which is directly linked to what I'm doing right here on this channel. I know that I'm called to speak to people who have marketplace callings, and to resource them and serve them. Anyway, so I was waiting for permission. I was waiting to feel worthy. I was waiting for the right time when the stars would align. And the truth about it, which I had to come to terms with, was that permission was never going to come. And if you are like me, I just want to say to you that permission is never coming, because things don't really work that way, right? The worthiness issue that you're working with doesn't go away because a permission slip comes. And so for me, I had to learn that I would not become worthy and then begin to engage with my calling, that I had to learn and shift my mindset that I became who I'm supposed to become when I engage with the very purpose for which I'm on the earth. When 2020 came and the world really just came to a shutdown, I got to start looking at my life. And one of the things that I was looking at my life was from the perspective of the end backwards. I had to process, if this season was the end, what had I done with the talents I was entrusted with? And I didn't have a good answer to that question, right? So it was clear to me that on no level had I even attempted to multiply the talents that I came to the earth with. So for me, the answer was no. I hadn't engaged with the very purpose for which I'm on the earth. I hadn't engaged with the callings. I hadn't multiplied them. And I felt I needed to do that. So 2020, that whole 2020 season for me was really a season of decision. It was really a season to be deliberate, to be intentional about closing my knowing doing gap, about setting my life in the direction of doing the things that I already knew, instead of waiting to know more things while not using what I had. And so that's what this channel is about. I extract biblical principles as operational frameworks, not for inspiration, but for execution. And I think that I speak to a lot of us who are churched, and we haven't quite engaged with the principles in the Bible in that way. And so that's some of what I bring to this channel. So this channel is designed for people who are done consuming and are ready to build, who are done circling the mountain over and over and are determined to take their journey northwards. I want to also say, like, the 28 sparks, they were not random. They were deliberate progression. We started in week 1 with the parable of the talents, which was really exploring and admonishing us. Number one, we were exploring the reality and the truth that we were all given talents, and that our talents are meant to be multiplied, not hidden. We explored the reasons why we hide our talents, the reasons why we bury our talents. And I hope you came out of week one with a consciousness and a determination to dig up what you've buried and to deploy with the goal of multiplying your talents. That's what the master requires. Week two, we talked about courage, because the truth about it is that if you've been frozen for a long time, if you've been locked in inertia for a long time, it will take courage to break that inertia. It will take courage to begin to shift, to begin to move, right? And so we explored courage. We looked at the courage that is required to move when there's fear present, and just embracing the reality that there's always going to be fear, but our answer to that fear would be to answer the call of courage. So that was week two. Week three, we took some time to looking at our eyes, our ears, our mouth, and our hearts. Four gates that Matthew 13 and 15 really just reveal concerning our internal architecture. And I know that content might have been a little dense and not quite suited to the Sparks model, but I encourage you to think a little bit deeper about what we discussed in week three, your internal architecture, because it's going to take for most of us a reinforcement of our internal architecture to move in the direction of our calling. Week four, which is where we are right now, we were reviewing this concept of time. And boy, this is a deep concept, right? So we processed time, looking at time from the dimension of our past, exploring a consideration that many of us have when we awaken. A common sentiment is to think, oh, I've lost so much time, right? But how you can refrain your lost time years and use that as fuel to ignite you in the direction of your calling. So we explored that. We explored redeeming time. We explored stewarding what's left. And so all the episodes really pointing in one direction, really designed to answer one question, designed to have you think about one question, which is, what is keeping you from taking your next step towards your calling, towards your assignment, towards the purpose you're on the earth? What's keeping you from it? And then once you have a sense of what's keeping you from it, taking steps to removing it, right? That's what all the 4 weeks content was designed to do for you. And today, this is where we land, to kind of wrap things up. I want to talk about 3 attitudes that would help you sustain the spark, sustain the fire on your journey. Okay. So as we close this series today, that's where I want to leave us. I want to say you can have all the sparks, all the strategy, all the frameworks, all the teachings, all the extended cuts of all the teachings, the master classes, etc. But if you don't have the right attitude towards time, I don't think any of it is going to work, because you can't catch fire on passivity. You can't ignite into pursuit with a sense of whatever will be, will be. You know, growing up, there was this song, I don't know if you know it, forgive my voice. It's Que sera, sera. Whatever will be, will be. The future will have to tell. Que sera, sera. So it's this little girl in the song that is saying, I asked my mom about the future. I asked my mom about what I will be. Would I be this? Would I be that? And my mom's response to me was, Que sera, sera. Whatever will be, will be. And I want to say, Que sera, sera. Whatever will be is a lie. Okay. And so if you were like me as a little girl or as a little boy and you sang that song, or if you still sing it and if you sing it to your children, I want to say you are feeding yourself a lie. That is not how this life is designed to function. It is not que sera, sera. It's not whatever will be, will be. It is a lie. And that lie feeds you with a level of passivity that you can't have and catch fire. You can't have that level of passivity and be on the hot pursuit of your calling, be in the hot pursuit of the very purpose for which you're on the earth. Que sera, sera is a lie. Never sing that song again. It's not true. It's not whatever will be, will be. Okay. And I just want to say, if that's your attitude towards time, you will not catch fire. You will not. You can't catch fire with que sera, sera, because fire requires fuel. And the fuel is how you think about time. That is the fuel, your framework, your mindset concerning this precious, finite asset that you have. So here are the three attitudes that I want you to begin to consider, because I think these three attitudes will separate the people who get ignited from the people who drift. Number one, urgency. You don't have forever. You don't have forever on the earth. You don't have forever to do what you are called to do on the earth. You don't have forever. We reviewed this earlier on this week, Ephesians 5:6, making the most of every opportunity because the days are evil. Okay. Another verse that applies here, James 4:14, where it says, you are a mist, you are like a vapor that appears for a little while and then vanishes. Just think about the steam when you open your pot. It's kind of there and then it disintegrates. Or your kettle when you're boiling your water for tea. It's there and then it goes, right? So that's kind of like how our lives are. We're not here forever. This urgency that needs to now be part of your consideration, it's not anxiety, it's not panic, right? It's recognizing, number one, that your days are finite and you have a responsibility to steward your finite resource deliberately. The door doesn't just stay open forever. Seasons open and seasons close. And we have to steward our time with that in the back of our minds. And so urgency here, meaning that you move when the door is open instead of waiting for perfect conditions. And I've been saying to you, I know that this is a season when many doors are being flung open. This is a season to move. Second attitude is an attitude of endurance. We have need of persistence. So you don't hit the rock one time, nothing happens. No, there's an attitude of persistence. It's an attitude of endurance. So you listen to this, you're sparked, but that's not all that's required. You need to sustain it, right? And that sustaining work is hard. Have you tried lighting a fire? Like you might need to put some cardboard around it. You might need to enclose it so that the fire can catch, so that it can get bigger, right? And that part is hard. It's not easy. It's deliberate. And let's be honest, we're talking about the very purpose for which we're on the earth. We're talking about our callings, right? It's not a 28-day program. This is going to require weeks, months, and years. It's going to require long obedience in the same direction. It's going to require writing when nobody's reading your stuff, right? Teaching when nobody's listening. Building when nobody's watching. It's going to require endurance. It's going to require persistence, because you might not see immediate results, right? And in fact, it's very likely that you wouldn't see immediate results. So you need an attitude of endurance, an attitude of persistence, because it's going to sustain the fire. And the perfect scripture to think about is Hebrews 12:1. Let us run with endurance the race that is set before us. Let us run with endurance the race that is set before us. I'm a runner myself. I train for half marathons. You need endurance to run. You do. So our marathon of life requires endurance as well. And I want you, as you consider time, to be mindful that you have need of endurance. You need to have an attitude that is persisting one, if you are going to properly use the next season of your life. The third one, which is the last one, is intentionality. You want your days to count. Psalm 90, verse 12, the Psalm of Moses, where it says, teach us to number our days that we may gain a heart of wisdom. Teach us to number our days that we may gain a heart of wisdom. So your days don't count by default. Like if there's not an intentional and deliberate focus intentional and deliberate structure, intentional and deliberate use of your time, you're not numbering your days. You get to decide, what do these days mean in this season in 2026? What are my days going to count for? How can I number my days in the direction of what I want 2026 to count for? Making deliberate choices about how we're spending our time, making sure that we are not drifting, that we're directing our days towards what we are called to build. And then when you put all three together, I think the urgency is going to get you moving now. The attitude of endurance is going to keep you moving when things get hard, when you face some obstacles, some challenges. Sometimes, look, you can get stretched, you can get tired. Endurance is going to keep you in the race. And then intentionality, it makes sure you're moving towards something that you've decided matters. So that's how the three come together. And I'm saying to you, you need all three as we wrap up our conversation on time. So that's what I have for you in terms of the 28 sparks to catch fire. A question that has been coming up is, okay, what happens next? Three things that happens next. Number one, we're going to start a series next week on Monday through Friday, a series that is focused on calling. We're going to explore this whole idea of calling. We want to explore this deeper, right? The focus is really, how do I pick my direction and commit it to pursuit? So look out for that. That series really designed to help you commit to pursuit. If you know anybody that also is in that cycle of sensing, but they haven't committed to pursuit, they haven't committed to one direction, this is for them. So please share this with them. The second thing that I wanted to share here is, I know that this surfaced for many people, this problem that, I know I have a sense of what my calling is, but I haven't done anything about it. So for some people, this has surfaced the knowing doing gap even more tangibly for them. So they know, like, oof, I am functioning way beneath my potential because I know a lot and I'm doing nothing with it. Okay. And so the truth about being in that situation is that knowing doing gap is costing you. And every year that goes by without you using what that you're supposed to, that gap gets wider, right? And when the gap keeps getting wider, it builds resentment, it builds self-doubt in you. Your calling begins to wither. It begins to wither. It doesn't have the same surge and force that it did years ago when you knew, like, oh, this is for me. This is what I'm assigned to do. Okay. So it has a cost to it. And I wanted to share with you the Ignition Hub, because the Ignition Hub, I believe it solves it, right? It's 12 weeks of execution accountability. It's a cohort that is designed for 12 weeks. And you come into the cohort with one next step. Okay. You focus on one next step. You focus on execution on one next step. We have weekly calls, weekly accountability, and you're flanked by 19 other people who will not let you quit, right? Who are going to hold you accountable to what you've set out to do, and with whom you will build deep bonds, with whom you will journey together, with whom you will catch fire together. And what you will achieve in those 12 weeks, you will achieve a lot in 12 weeks, right? Because you would have moved from being stuck to walking. And some people are moving from walking to running, okay? So you'll have tangible proof that you can build towards your calling. You take time to process, to structure, and to do. So here's how you can join the Ignition Hub. You go to ignitemyear.com, IGNITE myyear.com. You complete a 7-question application where it says apply. Just click on that. You complete that. I review them personally, and I'll get back to you. 48 hours, I'll be back to you with whether or not, based on the answers, you fit this particular cohort. All right. We start March 12th, middle of March. We start 20 spots, actually only 19 now. And then once we get 20 people, we stop enrolling. So I encourage you, apply today. Apply today. Apply today. And then the last thing that I just want to say is, number one, whether or not you join the hub, I mean, it's only 20 spots and it's way more than 20 of you that are following. So there's some of us that are not going to be in the hub, that we're not ready for the hub. But this is what I want to say to you, whether or not you join the hub, whether or not you watch the calling series that's going to start next week. I want to say, if over the last few weeks, the last few days, the month of February, you were sparked, you felt a shift, you began to move, I want to say keep moving. Don't stop. Keep moving, keep moving, keep moving. Don't let the 28 sparks to catch fire, just become 28 things you consumed and didn't act on. Don't let that happen to you. Don't let new awareness you've come into just kind of dissipate like vapor. Don't let that be you. Take one thing from this series and do it. Take one thing from this series and do it. Not talk about it, not reshare it on your socials, not send me a line and saying, "Oh, this really blessed me." No, 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 no. All of that is fine, but that's not the point. Take one thing and do it, because that's how the spark gets ignited into fire. So that's where I'll stop this 28 Sparks to Catch Fire series. It's been a delight. It's been a joy. It's been a royal honor for me. Thank you for joining me on this journey. Thank you for joining me and saying yes to catching fire together with me. I invite you to subscribe to the channel, and reach out to some of the people you're forwarding this to and tell them, subscribe to the channel, okay? Subscribe to the channel. Keep liking. Keep sharing your ahas and your comments below. I respond to every single comment that I get. Let's close that knowing doing gap. Let's close it with urgency. Let's close it with endurance. Let's close it intentionally. So I'll see you back here next week on Monday, and we'll start our calling series. Thank you for catching fire with me. I will see you next week. God bless you. Bye-bye.